Hi, everyone. This is Coach Stephanie Wood, and I'm with my favorite colleague, Velma, V like in Victor, E-L-M like in Mary, A, Gallant or Gallant, like I like to call her, Gallant like in Tom. And we're here at my podcast, Tap into Your Body Confidence, where entrepreneurs unite to showcase their talents. And Velma, before we get into our topic, tell people what you're up to. And I know you're up to a lot, and where they can connect with you.
Awesome. I work with divorced women to help them create more peace after their divorce with my proprietary Heart Compass method. They can find me on social media anywhere, almost anywhere. Instagram and Facebook. I'm not on TikTok.
Not yet. Don't say never.
True enough, true enough. But if you're familiar with Linktree, it's Linktree/Velma Gallant. You'll find all my stuff there.
Wonderful. And you can find me at my site. I'm not there all the time, but I am there frequently at bodyawe, BODYAWE, like an awesome.com. And Velma and I were talking earlier in the week. A client came to us saying that she feels like she doesn't fit in. So, Velma, how would you begin with her?
Fitting in is the opposite of belonging. When we're trying to fit in, we are actually denying ourselves to fit in somewhere. We think we want to belong, and to deny ourselves is how to do that. And it's just not true.
So, I would continue asking her, well, how would it feel to just be you? And like you say, Velma, belonging to self. Now, if I asked you that question, what would you say?
What So when I exited my divorce, or when I was complete my divorce, when I exited my marriage, I actually did feel that like I didn't belong anywhere. I wasn't in the same role as mother. I didn't have my child all the time. I wasn't in that role of wife anymore. It changed a lot of things for me. And so I did start to feel like I didn't belong anywhere. I didn't fit in. And that was where I started taking some time to really get to know me and accept me. Because the truth is when I belong to me, I'm not thirsty to fit in anywhere else.
So then I would go to the practical side of that, Velma,
Mm-hmm.
and I would ask myself in your shoes is how do I practice that? Um, for me, practicing that would be moving. I
Mm.
get in tune, my body and whatever else is going on in my head, we become one. And I would add music to that, and we'll be enjoying ourselves. And all the other outside stuff, that's not there for me anymore. At least,
100%.
so what else would you do? What other practices?
So it would be remembering some of the things that I used to love, that I used to spend time with, remembering the things that jazz me, remembering the things that excite me, and even being clear on those things that don't feel good. Because, of course, things that don't feel good or aren't quite right are pointing to the places where we don't belong. So noticing those feelings, like when I'm listening to music and I'm moving to music, I feel connected to myself. And it's the specific choices of music. It can be even like, what kind of books do you love to read? If you're a reader, what kind of books do you love to read? Because that tells you about yourself. So there's a lot of different ways to reconnect to the truth of who you are, accept that, and that's the belonging we really need.
And as we go through that process, when I heard you speak earlier about how when you were going through your divorce, the environments around you didn't resonate for you. And we learn that in coaching to look at somebody's environments. Are the environments nurturing you? Or if not, there are plenty other environments you can find. And also, it brought up for me identity, a little identity crisis, for a better phrase. Um, how would you go about creating a process to move through that?
So one of the things that I do is I help the women return to why they do things the way they do them.
Wow. Oh, wait,
Right?
wait.
So
Say that again, Velma. Very wisdom-like. Okay, say it again.
why we do things the way we do them. So one of the things, so I'll use myself as an example. One of the things that I understand about me is why I do everything is to contribute. It's
Beautiful.
like everything. It's I'm here to make a difference for others. So that leaks into my parenting. It leaks into my work, it leaks into my friendships, my family. Everything that I do is to be a contribution. Now, there is always a dark side to these things, in that I have spent many years being a yes girl. So it's finding a way to be my contribute in a healthy way that also contributes to me.
So I'm thinking as you're explaining this beautifully is how do we remind ourselves of ourselves? Because we get caught up in stuff. I
Notice the
like
words,
stuff, but
notice the words you use, right? Like,
mm,
so there's got to be a better way. There has got to be a better way to do this. So if you're somebody that says that a lot, chances are what jazzes you is finding a better way to do things, right? Could be something like, oh, I love a challenge. Right? And so going after those things and doing things a little bit differently, that's why you do things the way you do them, right? So notice some of the words that you continually use. Those are going to give you some clues about that.
so I would ask our audience at this point in time just to grab a piece of paper and pen or pencil. Yes, you can go away from your computer and jot down those things that am I hearing you correctly, that just jazz you?
Yeah,
And the
absolutely.
way you formulate the words to remind you, is that
Absolutely.
where I'm going?
Absolutely. So another example is, I just want to be clear about that. I
Ooh.
just need a little bit more clarity about that, right? And that gives you an example of why you do things. Like, somebody who would answer that likes to get clear on the details and get the information and everything like that. And that jazzes them, you know, that makes sense.
Well,
I like to
I'm going
make
to use
sense of
that. I'm
things.
going to use that today because I'm negotiating a contract and I want to get clear about a lot of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
this other person I'm negotiating with might get a little annoyed. But that
Well,
tells you something, I'm putting myself first. Now,
mhm.
should I worry about that he's annoyed?
Might want to listen to his words. You might be able to figure out why he does the things the way he does them.
True.
And then sometimes, so one of the things that I've noticed is when I know that about someone else. So for example, my son, he's always trying to figure out better way things. Sometimes it can be annoying because he keeps trying to fix things over and over and over again. But that's, I mean, that's the way he is. So if I want to get buy-in from him, here's why it's a better way, honey. And then I more often than not, he's like, oh, well, okay. You want to get buy-in from me? Here's why it's going to make a difference. My ears are open.
Well, that's one of the messages. So if we are to give our audience today one thing to remember from our conversation, what would you suggest?
The foundation is to know yourself and then belong to yourself. Once you know yourself and accept and love yourself, that's where you belong. And then you won't be trying to be something you're not to fit in somewhere you don't belong.
You said it beautifully. I'm not going to add on to that one this time. So tell people how to connect with you again, please.
So you can find me on Instagram, Velma Gallant. Find me on Facebook, Velma Gallant, and then Linktree, Velma Gallant.
And you can find me at bodyawe, BODYAWE.com. And Velma, I will be seeing you again, yes?
Yes, looking forward to playing again.
Bye-bye.